Hey, hello everyone. This is an anonymous MPSC aspirant. This is my very first video, and the intentions behind this video is just to keep track of my own study, and in the process, I could help others. So, first of all, we will see the scheme of examination of this coming state services main examination for 2025. As we know, MPSC has shifted to descriptive pattern just like UPSC. So it's important to go through UPSC syllabus as well, but the thing is MPSC has exactly copied you can say in the UPSC syllabus. Just there are three different things, and I will show these later on. So first of all, we can see the scheme of examination, and that is exactly like UPSC. So written exam for 1750 marks, your personality test for 275 marks, and total marks 2025. And as we know, to get into the UPSC for around 1000 seats, UPSC cutoff is roughly around 44%. So in that way you can get what will be for MPSC. So in MPSC State Services, you have these 9 papers for mains. First of all, this Marathi and English 2 papers, these are of qualifying nature. So you just have to score 25%. That means 75 out of 300 in both papers. So once you clear these 2 papers, your other papers like these papers to be counted for merit, there are 7 papers like essay, GS1, GS2, GS3, GS4. These GS papers, and optional, there are optional paper number 1 and paper number 2. These 7 papers are there, and these 7 papers worth 750 marks, as we already saw here, the written examination for 750 marks. So these 750 marks are important for us. In that, 4 GS, 2 optionals, and 1 essay. If you see the scheme carefully, you can see a Marathi or English. So candidates will have the option to answer the question papers in Marathi or English from paper 3 to 7. This is clearly mentioned, and this year's notification of MPSC State Services clearly says you just have to select one medium from paper 3 to 7. In fact, for prelims form, we have just filled the medium for optional papers only, and that is because there was a doubt among candidates that we haven't selected the medium for mains exam apart from optional. So they have clearly given in this point number 3, candidates should note that they have to choose the medium of answering papers at the time of submitting the online application for mains exam. So at the time of mains application, we have to select the medium for those papers, like those first, you can say 5 papers, because essay and 4 GS we haven't selected that. Okay, for optional papers, you know that Marathi and English, there are only 2 mediums, and it is dependent on your optional, because if you have some optional which can be written only in Marathi, then it will be only in Marathi. So next here you can go through is question papers. As you know, MPSC will be in Marathi and English, both mediums. So no issue of question paper being set in only Marathi or only English. So there is no issue of language. Now just look at the qualifying papers. Paper 1, you can see here, they say it's Marathi language qualifying paper, 300 marks, 3 hours, and in that you have 5 topics. There is a comprehension, then passage writing, and then usage and vocabulary. There they will ask grammar, then short essays. Now here they say short essays, but UPSC ask only 1 essay worth 100 marks. So I believe MPSC will definitely go that way. And translation, English to Marathi and vice versa, both translation worth 20 each, so that will be 40. Usage and vocabulary will be for 40, passage writing will be for 60, and comprehension will be for 60. So this structure they have given in that separate in model Q&A book, we call it question and answer booklet. So this makes up 300 marks. Same way you can see here in English comprehension, it will be here they will be for, it will be for 75. Precise writing, it will be for 75 marks. Usage and vocabulary, there you have grammar and all those things for 50 marks. And then short essays, it will be for 100 marks. So again it makes up 300 marks. So these paper you just have to score 75 out of 300. Very important, because as UPSC have in their mains notification, if you don't clear these papers, your other papers won't be checked. So MPSC may adopt that policy here, but the thing is you have to score 75 marks. And then paper 3, this is where it starts the whole thing, the paper 3 essay. And here they have clearly mentioned write essays. Essays means there are 2 essays worth 125 marks each. So that makes up again 255 marks for essay paper. And in that way, if you have GS papers, and in GS paper the structure is very similar. 10 markers, there will be 10 questions worth 100 marks, and 15 markers long answers will be 10. Solve 20 questions worth 250 marks each. So this is how it will look. Paper 3 essay, you will have to write 2 essays. Moving forward, now the GS papers. So very first, the GS1. Okay, so GS1, we see that GS1, when we see GS1, we think like, yes, history, geography and society. But if you look closely, there are 5 topics you can see here. You can make 5 topics of GS1 paper. These are, and one thing MPSC has done well here is they have given it in fonts. The headings are in fonts. So you can see the Indian culture. This is first topic. It will cover salient aspects of arts forms, literature, architecture, from ancient to modern. You can see ancient to modern means it covers ancient as well as medieval as well as modern, all art forms, literature and architecture. And here, this is the point I wanted to mention. Bhakti movement, its philosophy with special reference to saints movement in Maharashtra. This is the point which is different to UPSC syllabus. As few were saying, MPSC has got more syllabus than UPSC. And how? Because here the Bhakti movement and its philosophy in special reference to saints movement in Maharashtra. This is the one point. In second paper, GS2, there is local self-government. This is the second point, which is different, and it is on top of UPSC syllabus. So we were here, Bhakti movement, and it will cover salient aspects of saint movements in Maharashtra. Second point, modern Indian history. This is very typical from about middle of 18th century, means 1757 Plassey until the present. What we have to study here is significant events, personalities and issues. All the events which are significant, obviously, and then personalities and issues. Second thing in modern itself is freedom struggle. Now freedom struggle, we will be like, yes, Congress form and then until 1947. Yes, obviously, various stages and important contributions from different parts of countries, South India. Okay, like that. So various stages, like you can see moderate and extremist, and then Gandhian phase, like that. And contributors, everyone. So this is paper, this is another point in modern India. And third point under modern India is post-independence consolidation and consolidation and reorganization within the country. State Reorganization Act 1955. You have to study that in deep here, but in historical perspective, not in political perspective. Third thing, here you go, history of world. So world history, again, it will be so generally they ask one or two questions in UPSC mains. Actually, in recent times they haven't asked more questions, just one question, that too longer, 15 marker. So history of the world will include events from 18th century. Now you can see 18th century, first thing in your mind, industrial revolution, world wars, redrawal of national boundaries, colonization, decolonization, political philosophies like communism, capitalism, socialism, their forms and effect on society. So society starts from here itself, but yes, this is the history of world. So this is history. Then second is salient features of Indian society. This is our fourth topic in paper 1, Indian society. Salient features as well as diversity of India. You will have role of women and women organization, population associated issues, poverty, developmental issues, urbanization problems and remedies. This whole syllabus of society. Then effect of globalization on Indian society, and then social empowerment, communalism. Here it's communism, but here it's communalism, regionalism, secularism. So these 3 points come under, so these 4 points actually come under society. And then fifth and last point of this GS1 paper is world physical geography. Now they have mentioned world, but what we have to remember here is that with some weightage to Maharashtra. This is the first point different to UPSC syllabus. They have given UPSC syllabus as it is, but this point with some weightage to Maharashtra. So here they have every scope to ask questions related to Maharashtra. This, you see here, salient features of world's physical geography. Now they can ask even Maharashtra under this topic because world's physical geography, and in that sense it's correct actually. So distribution of key natural resources across the world, including South Asia and Indian subcontinent. Now this is a good point. Then factors responsible for location of primary, secondary, tertiary sector industry. This already we studied this in old objective pattern of MPSC mains in various parts of the world, including India. And third point of geography is important geophysical phenomena such as earthquakes, tsunami, volcanic activity, and cyclone, etc. Geographical features, their location, changes in critical geographical features, including water bodies and ice caps, and flora and fauna, and effect of such changes. See, this is geography. So they can ask anything. Maharashtra geography plus Indian geography plus world geography, and not just physical plus human plus economic. Now we'll see how it is asked in UPSC exam, because so far we can see that MPSC was in objective pattern mains, so it was very different. So as I said, MPSC won't and can't match the UPSC level of questions, and it was evident till 2011 when there was a old pattern of MPSC, descriptive pattern, and even in those days UPSC questions were different to MPSC, and it has to be, because even today if you see, MPSC prelims questions are way different than UPSC despite having same syllabus. If you know, the UPSC and MPSC prelim syllabus is word to word same, but MPSC questions are different. So if this is a reality, then it becomes very imperative for us to analyze the level of MPSC PYQs of old pattern. even if it was old, but history, geography, polity, and economy, these 4 pillars of GS are same in every exam everywhere. And if you go through those PYQs or till 2011 to 2006 to 2011, you can see that MPSC has asked so many questions like Maharashtra history, Maharashtra geography, Maharashtra polity and economy. But if you feel those questions are very old, then you can do one thing: go through the other state PCS exams papers, because like UP, Bihar, Himachal Pradesh, Odisha, these states have kind of same syllabus to that of UPSC, and still they don't ask all questions like UPSC. In fact, the level is you can say that one level below UPSC, but that level reflect the general level of state PCS exams. You can see that. And if you really want to go through the PYQs of other states, then see the Jammu Kashmir, Odisha and Uttar Pradesh. These 3 states have exact same syllabus as that of UPSC, and despite this the questions are not at UPSC level. So it's important to go through those state PCS PYQs, Jammu Kashmir, Odisha and Uttar Pradesh. And after going through those PCS PYQs, you can exactly predict the level of questions for MPSC. And one more thing is, those states actually ask state-based questions in history. As I said, if you see UPPSC mains paper in history, they will ask history of Uttar Pradesh, history or geography of Uttar Pradesh, and like that. So MPSC will definitely ask Maharashtra-based questions on some topics. As I said, they have specifically mentioned this with some weightage to Maharashtra, and this some weightage will be very crucial factor deciding our sources. But before that, if we really want to see the statistical analysis of UPSC PYQs, then we can see here how many questions UPSC has asked so far. So in GS1, you can see I have analyzed the UPSC PYQs of last 12 years, 20, based on UPSC's CSM 2013 to 24. And what I saw here is culture has got 1 to 2 questions every year, modern India has got 3 to 4 questions every year, world history has got 1 to 2 questions, society has got 6, geography has got 7. So you can see the history portion, you can see around 7 questions, society 6 questions, geography 7 questions, so total 20 questions. So you can see that around 1/3 for every subject, be it history, society and geography. If you go through, history is very vast, culture is there, modern India, and modern India has got freedom struggle as well as post-independence consolidation. So modern India is the biggest subject, subtopic in that, and then world history. These 3 topics clubbed together you have 7 questions on society, 6 questions, geography 7. So this is about GS1, and we'll further go deep in, as they said, some classes of UPSC like thematic PYQs analysis. And then in this thematic, in a sense like culture, if in thematic analysis they say like Indian culture has got art forms, literature and architecture. These are the 3 themes, and again in that themes you have sub themes, or they call it micro themes. See, thematic in a sense, if you see art forms is a theme, then they will say dance is art form, right? So this is how it is of GS1. So let's move forward to second paper, GS2. Here you have again 5 topics: polity, constitution, governance, social justice and IR. See here, Indian Constitution. This is the first topic, historical underpinnings, evolution, features, amendments, significant provisions, basic structure. So we have seen this in prelims as well, mostly through Lakshmikant. Functions and responsibilities of union and states, governments. Okay, sorry. Issues and challenges pertaining to the federal structure, devolution of powers and finances up to local levels, and challenges therein. So this is the second point. So this can be, you can consider it in either in polity or constitution, but it is based on constitution itself. So separation of powers between various organs, okay, like legislature, executive, judiciary, dispute redressal mechanism and institutions. What are the institutions? You can see that comparison of Indian constitutional scheme with that of other countries. Now here you can see, if you have PSI or optional, there is a comparative politics. You can compare this point with that of PSIR paper 2. There is that whole section, comparative politics and IR theories. Next, parliament and state legislature. You can say this is the second point, and this is you can say polity, structure, both legislatures, central level as well as state level, their function, structure, function, conduct of business, what are their powers, privileges, and issues arising out of these. So this, you have to understand this issues arising out of these. This phrase is everywhere. You can see in the syllabus a lot of time this phrase is used, because issues arising out of these, this is the basis of questions for UPSC asks questions only on this line only, issues arising out of these in every topic. Then structure, organization, functioning of executive. Now here we see structure, function of parliament and state legislature. This is legislature, and here structure, organization, function of executive and the judiciary. This makes up state government. Here ministries and departments of the government, pressure groups, formal, informal associations and their role in polity. Now pressure groups and formal, informal associations and a role in polity, we have seen this in objective mains of MPSC, pressure groups and all, polity 2 we called it. Local self-government, this point, as I mentioned earlier, this point is extra to that of UPSC syllabus, because local self-government, and obviously this will be Maharashtra based, 100% local self-government. They will ask elaborative questions on this. Then salient features of Representation of People's Act, we have that appointment of appointment of constitutional post, powers, functions and responsibilities of various constitutional bodies. Here statutory, regulatory and various quasi-judicial bodies. Now these 2 points are kind of similar. You have to study all the bodies, and we already studied that in polity. Government policies, interventions for development in various sectors, issues arising out of their design and implementation. Now you can see this is like governance. You can see that development process, the development industry, role of NGOs, SHG, self-help groups, various groups and associations, donors, charities, institutional and other stakeholders. Then so this again you can count that under social justice, welfare scheme. Here you can see your third point, welfare schemes for vulnerable sections of population by the center and states, and the performance of these schemes, mechanism, laws, institutions and bodies constituted for the protection and betterment of these vulnerable sections, right? Vulnerable sections in a sense, you can see women, SC, STs, OBCs, you can. Then issues relating to development and management of social sector services relating to health, education, human resources. See, management of social sector services, again social justice, you can relate that, and issues relating to poverty and hunger. Again, this is social justice. Here, fourth point, important aspects of governance, transparency, accountability, e-governance. And e-governance, in that, applications, models, successes, limitations, and potential. Citizen charter, important point. Transparency and accountability, and institutional and other measures. So this is about governance. Then role of civil services in democracy, again governance. So this is the fourth point, governance. And now fifth point, India and its neighborhood relations, we call it IR. So if you have PSIR, again this is PSIR syllabus paper 2 section B. India and neighborhood relations, bilateral, regional, global groupings and agreements involving India and or affecting India's interests. So you can see bilateral agreements between India, Pakistan, India, US, then regional agreements like groupings and agreements like SARC. SARC is a regional grouping, EU is a regional grouping, then global grouping like G7, G21, okay. Then effect of policies and politics of developed and developing countries on India's interests, India's diaspora. So this is again related to IR. And then important international institutions. Now this is very good point. International institutions, agencies and fora, their structure and mandate. You can, UN is there, right? You can say World Bank is there, IMF is there, okay, so World Trade Organization. So everything will come under this, important international institutions. So this is how these 5 points are there in GS2. What about the mark structure? For constitution, there will be 3-4 questions. This is based on UPSC again, UPSC PYQs, polity 5-6 questions. So constitution and polity, we count it as a one topic, and then you can have 9 questions on this. Governance again 4 questions, social justice around 3, and international relations 4. So constitution and polity, if we consider it a polity will have 9 questions, governance will have 4 questions, social justice 3, and international relations 4. So this is how it will be, like 20 questions worth 250 marks. So moving forward to third paper, Gender Studies 3. Again here in general we say that it's economy, science, tech and security, but if you look economic developments, economy, it comes under economy, technology comes under science and technology, environment and biodiversity, that of prelim, and security, internal security and disaster management. So again with some weightage to Maharashtra. This is very important because you will have to go through the economic survey of Maharashtra state. So again, Indian economy. Our first topic will be Indian economy. Issues relating to planning, mobilization of resources, growth, development and employment. Exact same point. Prelim syllabus. Prelim syllabus is not like this, but it's a socio-economic development, but still we do these things like planning, mobilization of resources, growth and development and employment. Then inclusive growth and issues arising out of arising from it. Then government budgeting, this is budget. So these 3 points for economy. And then major crops. Now this comes under agroeconomy, like the earlier objective pattern, cropping patterns in various parts of the country, different types of irrigation and irrigation systems, then storage, transport and marketing of agricultural produce, issues and related constraints, okay. And then e-technology in the aid of farmers, like enam portal, so we'll see that later on. Issues related to direct and indirect farm subsidies, minimum support price MSP, public distribution system PDS, its objectives, functioning, limitations, revamping, then issues of buffer stocks and food security, technology missions, economics of animal rearing. So animal husbandry, food processing and related industries in India, scope, their scope and significance, location, upstream and downstream requirements, supply chain management, then land reforms in India. So these points for, you can say these are agroeconomics. Then effects of liberalization on the economy, changes in industrial policy 1991, you can say their effects on industrial growth. Then infrastructure, under that energy, ports, roads, airports, railways. Then investment models. Now investment models is quite different. If you are coming from MPSC background, investment models, I don't think that was there in GS4 earlier pattern. So this is about economy. So very big chunk of this paper is economy, you can say more than 50%. But will it reflect in marks? We'll see that later on. Second point, science and technology. Here, developments and their applications and effects in everyday life. Then achievements of Indians in science and technology, indigenization of technology, like DRDO is developing new technology. Then awareness in the field of IT, space, computers, robotics, nanotechnology, biotechnology, issues relating to intellectual property rights. So these points come under science and tech. Then third point, environment, conservation and environmental pollution and degradation, and EIA, environmental impact assessment. Then fourth point, disaster and disaster management, disaster risk resilience, resilient society. Then fifth point, again linkages between development and spread of extremism. So fifth point is about actually the internal security and the security role of external state and non-state actors in creating challenges to internal security, like Pakistan is posing right now. Challenges to internal security through communication networks, the role of media and social networking sites in internal security challenges, basics of cybersecurity, money laundering and its prevention. Then security challenges, their management in border areas, linkages of organized crime with terrorism, various security forces and agencies and their mandate. So you can see again we have divided this paper in 5 topics. If we see the UPSC PYQ analysis, economy, there will be 8 questions purely on economy. Science tech, around 4 questions. Environment, around 3 questions. Disaster management, here 1 or 2 questions. This is the UPSC trend. And security, again 3 or 4 questions. So this way you will have 20 questions, worth again 250 marks. So moving forward, general studies 4, we call it ethics in general, but it's ethics, integrity and aptitude. Paper will include questions to test candidates' attitude and approach to issues relating to integrity, probity in public life, problem solving approach and decision making to various issues and conflicts faced by him in dealing with society, and questions may utilize case study approach. Okay, but the theoretical part is like this. We can have again segregate the syllabus, like first point, this ethics and human interface, second point attitude, third point aptitude and foundational values for CS civil services, then fourth point emotional intelligence, fifth point contributions thinkers, moral thinkers and philosophers, sixth point public service, public or civil service values and ethics in public administration, seventh point will be probity in governance, and the eighth point will be case studies. So here we have a lot of things, like in ethics and human interface you have essence, determinants, consequences of ethics in human actions, dimensions of ethics, ethics in private and public relationships, human values, again a different topic, subtopic in this topic, lessons from the lives and teachings of great leaders, reformers, administrators. You can have examples here. Then role of family, society and educational institutions in inculcating values. Then next topic, attitude. Here we have content, structure, function of attitude. What is attitude? Then its influence and relation with thought and behavior, moral and political attitudes, social influence and persuasion. Then aptitude and foundational values for CS: integrity, impartiality and non-partisanship, objectivity, dedication to public service, empathy, tolerance, compassion towards the weaker sections. Very important. Then emotional intelligence. Okay, concepts and their utilities, application in administration and governance. Then contribution of moral thinkers and philosophers from India and world. So thinkers, very important part, thinkers. And I think, yeah, this is the most asked topic in ethics, apart from case studies, obviously. Then public service, civil service values. Now here you have aptitude and foundational values for CS, and here CS values and ethics in public administration, status and problems, ethical concerns and dilemmas in government and private institutions. Then laws, rules, regulations, conscience as sources of ethical guidance, accountability and ethical governance, strengthening of ethical and moral values in governance, ethical issues in international relations, and funding, corporate governance. Important. Probity in governance. Probity, concept of public service, philosophical basis of governance and probity, information sharing and transparency in government, right to information, codes of ethics, codes of conduct, citizens charters. We have citizen charter somewhere else. Then work culture, quality of service delivery, utilization of public funds, challenges and corruption, and then case studies. So again, here we have divided this subject in 8 topics. Okay, so if we look at the PYQs analysis of UPSC, then you can see that 6 questions are there every year for case studies. They ask 6 case studies worth 20 marks. So 120 marks. This whole paper has got around 19 questions worth 250 marks. But the case studies, this lone topic, has got six case studies, 20 markers, 120 marks. So half of it is case studies, and then you have this ethics, 1 question, attitude, 1 question, apti and values for CS, 1 question, EI, emotional intelligence, 1 question, thinkers has got around 4 questions. Again, this is the most important, with probity also got 4 questions, and CS values in public administration around 2-3 questions. So you can see most of the questions for case studies 6 questions, and these you can add, these are like 13 questions worth 130 marks. So these are 10 markers. So 13 10 markers and 6 20 markers. So you will have 250 marks. So here you can see the case studies are most important. Then you can consider thinkers, 4 questions, probity, 4 questions, and CS values in public administration also. This is another most important topic. So these 4 topics you can count 6 4 10, so around 15 questions. You can say ethics, aptitude, attitude, aptitude, and EI has got these are 4 questions. So rest of 4 topics: thinkers, CS values, probability, and case studies. These all makes up around 15 questions, right? So this is how they will ask in the exam. We expect them to ask. So this way we have these 7 papers, excluding these 2 optionals. So only GS you can consider 1000 marks, and essay 1250, and then you have 2 optionals. Now first, what I said is, in 3 ways UPSC syllabus, MPSC main syllabus is different to UPSC, and those 3 different points are like this. So differences first is, you have in GS 1 the topic Bhakti movement. So that Bhakti movement topic is different to UPSC, you have to study that. And GS2 there is local self-government. This is the second point. And third point is in optional. And now optional, you can see that in optional we have like every optional is similar in structure. Optional paper. Now optional, the third point I wanted to convey, which is different to UPSC, is this. See, you have to solve 3 questions, 2 questions minimum in each section of optional. You might have gone through this syllabus of optional and then the paper structure. The difference I wanted to show is this, that you have to write these 10 markers, 5 10 markers here, 5 10 markers, and again here you have 3 10 markers. Now you can solve any 2, but still if we see in one paper you will have these 5 and 5, 10 10 markers, these 5 and these 5, and 3 questions you have to solve, choosing 2 from each section. So it becomes 3 questions. So 3 questions in a sense. Here MPSC has 20 20 10, UPSC has 20 15 15. So this is a difference. UPSC has 20 15 15, so 2 15 markers and 1 20 marker, but MPSC has 2 20 markers and 1 10 marker. So it becomes, at the end you have to write in one paper 13 10 markers and 6 20 markers. This is standard for MPSC. In UPSC there are 15 markers as well, so you don't have to worry about 15 markers here. Only 2 types of questions, 10 markers, 20 markers. And if 10 markers, in 10 markers they give that 10 markers should be written in 150 words, and 20 markers generally we write for 300 words in optional. This is how it is. So what I said is 3 differences are there: 10 markers and directly 20 markers. There are no 15 markers like UPSC. Okay, so these 3 differences MPSC has. GS1 you have Bhakti movement, separate topic. GS2 local self-government, and in optional you have 10 markers, 20 markers like UPSC, but you don't have 15 markers. So this is how it is. GS structure is similar. There will be 10 markers and 10 15 markers. These you will have to write in 150 words, and these in 250 words. UPSC actually gives Q&A booklet. Questions are printed on answer booklet itself. So for 150 words they give you only 2 pages, 2 pages, while for 250 they give 3 pages. So this is very standard in UPSC, but MPSC may not follow suit, because in forest exam they have those ruled pages, ruled answer sheets, so they may not follow suit UPSC in that. But here they have like this ethics as per syllabus. Here you can see they have this section A. Here short notes are there, 5 short notes, 5 questions worth 2 markers, so that makes up 10. And then you have this PC, these 2, and then 2 questions each, so these will be like 10 markers. It means you have to solve these questions in, so these 12 questions, these will be 10 markers, but you have to solve these in around 150 words. And case studies 250 words, they have mentioned it, 6 questions, 20 markers, and these are for 250 words. These are 20 markers, but still they are 250 words. So we'll see more analysis and book list in next video. Thank you for now.